Yo, yo, ho, ho, ho. Yo, yo, ho, ho, ho.
Hey, well, that's I was almost lulled to sleep by that. This is horribly off topic with Chris and Steve. This is episode number I forgot to
43.
check 43.
Yes.
43.
Because last week we talked about 42.
We did. That's how we got there. Okay, episode 43 with Chris and Steve.
We're changing the name of the show to episode 43.
Episode 43 with. Well, I mean, or it could be that we were making some brilliant point about how there have been 43 episodes with me and you, but there was that one episode with me and fuck, I can't complete any goddamn jokes. I like me and somebody. I was just like some fucking random person. Seth MacFarlane.
Rogan?
No, Seth MacFarlane. I was watching a little bit more. I think it's Seth MacFarlane. That's the Family Guy guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I was watching a little bit more this morning because I got up early. And I ate some breakfast, and I needed something to do.
What else did you do this morning, Chris?
I turned on streaming video service and picked up where I left off with A Million Ways to Die in the West.
Oh, is it on the?
It is on the red one.
The red one.
The red and white one. Yes.
Redbox?
Redbox.
Redbox streaming?
I'm sure it's there too. And it is a very dumb movie. It is not a very good movie.
I didn't see it. So.
I still haven't finished seeing it. I only watched another 20 or 30 minutes. I think it's one that I will have to watch 20 or 30 minutes at a time when I have nothing better to do.
I like when they were talking about it coming out and they had the scene where like it was Doc Brown in the garage or whatever. Have you seen that scene yet?
I haven't gotten to that scene
Okay,
yet.
well, apparently, I was all excited. Like, I thought this was going to be this really fun scene because, spoilers,
Doc Brown.
Doc Brown goes back to 1885 or whatever.
Yep.
And
that's after he leaves 2015.
Yes.
Goes to 1985.
1885.
Oh, wait, no, he doesn't stop in 1985.
No, they do go, they go to 1985.
That's right. 2015, they go to horror-filled 1985, then to 1955.
Well, depending on your perspective. I mean, like, if you like gambling... And apparently, like...
And Leah Thompson's tits?
Yeah.
Then, yes. That's not
necessary. If you want them back, you can take them.
Oh, my God.
Well, yeah, and then they go to the alternate 1985, and then they go back to 1955, because that's when old Biff gave young Biff the sports almanac.
And then the whole thing
they go back...
shorting out the whole damn time, and they go to...
He gets struck by lightning, and then goes back to 1885.
1985.
In the year 1985, the human race is not alive.
So he's supposed to show. Does he show up in the same town?
I don't know. Well, it was just like he goes into I think Seth MacFarlane's character goes into a garage, and it's like, oh, Doc Brown's there, and I thought it was going to be like this fun scene about, but it was just like a Family Guy episode. Here's a reference. And then that's it.
Was Christopher Lloyd actually in the scene?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was Doc Brown.
That's at least something. It's not just him like looking off camera and being like, "Hey, it's Doc Brown," and that's the only reference. I mean, with the level of quality of this movie so far, that's kind of what I expected. And yet I keep watching it because it is actually amusing in its itty or absurdly poor movie making qualities. I don't know. It made me smile.
What did you think about Ted though?
I don't remember having a strong feeling either way.
I liked it. It was fun, and I think it helped that it was set in the greater Boston area.
Yeah.
And Marky Mark was in it.
Yeah. I mean, that I think is why I liked it, and I think the end maybe, or just the whole ending sequence of him, spoilers of him getting kidnapped and or bear napped or whatever the hell you would.
They have what is it? They're coming out with the number 2.
They are coming out with the number 2 with Mr. Cheater Tom Brady in it.
Oh, good, freaking.
That ought to be fun.
I hope they didn't deflate the movie so we could throw it farther, because apparently that helps you. Like,
apparently,
I should just sign up for the NFL now and just deflate the ball a little bit, and then apparently I'll throw it like a miracle.
I thought you were going to say because your balls are already deflated, you would qualify. I mean, or would you just be kicked out?
I don't know if my balls could be deflated, but I think they can be drained.
I don't know. You've never been to. Yeah,
come on, just do it. Like,
no. See, that was my way of being funny. Was just to trail off and let people's imaginations paint the rest of the picture.
Okay, let everybody else do the work because you don't feel like it.
Do the work. Yes, because I like deflated balls and people who win 4 Super Bowls. You know, it's just a thing I like.
Fucking asshole. He not only did he deflate balls, but he didn't beat up his wife in an elevator.
That's right, and he didn't get caught on camera not beating his wife off.
Yeah, he didn't drown dogs either. No. What an asshole!
What an asshole!
He just let the way Bill Burr's been saying it. He let a cunt hair worth of air out of a ball.
That's if you believe it.
Yeah,
I mean, he still says he didn't do it, right?
Yeah. He's the I didn't do it kid.
Tom I trust. In Bill I trust.
What are they on money now?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a thing that
that's a thing we could put on there. Well, I mean, we could just talk about it rather than me putting on a list.
No, but it's not on the list. But it's something that came up naturally in our conversation.
It is, yes.
That
money.
They're going to take what is it, Andy Jackson off the 20. And they talked and they said that they wanted to put a woman on there, and then they decided on Harriet Tubman.
Now, have they decided, or is that just the?
I don't know if someone did a poll.
Yeah, I know that was the popular choice, and they put her on there. And I think of all the bills to, I don't know. I think whether or not he actually was a racist. I think I kind of.
Is that the reason why they're taking Andy Jackson off?
I don't know that that's the reason, but I think if my perception of Andy Jackson as a racist is anywhere near correct, I think it's quite appropriate that he's being taken off for Harriet Tubman, as opposed to.
I don't know.
I mean, any of the founding fathers owned slaves.
Yeah, like all of them were kind of dickish as far as that goes. But it's like. Did you watch the John Adams thing on HBO?
I did, yeah.
So, I think his main antagonist was Alexander Hamilton.
Yes. Because
he was a dick. Mm-hmm. And so, why don't we just get rid of Alexander Hamilton off the 10?
Yeah.
Because even though he was the head of the Treasury and it makes sense for him to be on money.
Right.
But he was an ass hat.
Yeah. Yeah,
so fuck him, put Harriet Tubman on the 10 and keep Andy Jackson.
All right. I could go for that. But is the reason to put Tubman on the 20 that similar to the reason why we might eventually phase out the penny? Are we possibly going to phase out the 10 at some point because we don't need it?
Why would we not need the 10?
I don't know. I'm just saying, is that part of their rationale? Is that we want to go for the 20 because the 20 gets used more, it's in circulation more, and let's go for the 20, and the 10 you don't see as much. Similarly, you wouldn't try to put someone new on the penny right now. Because
they're making I've gotten new pennies recently, and they have different shit on the back.
Yeah, they have different shit on the back. It's just silly that it costs more to make a penny.
Yeah, I don't it. So why do we still do it?
I don't know. Because
can our congressman call us and tell us?
Because of the psychological effect of making something $1.99 as opposed to $2. Because there's still people out there who do that shit because $1.99 sounds like a great buy. And then you have to give them.
Round it down and $1.95. So we're to the nickel.
But then you're
losing 4 cents.
You're doing something to destroy our free market economy by doing that.
Fuck you.
You should raise it $1. You should raise it $1 and make it $2.99. That helps the nation.
What, by paying more?
Yes.
Yeah, it does help the nation, but
it helps the top 1%.
Yeah, it helps the 1% 1% because the people there is no trickle down. It doesn't work. Reaganomics.
Yeah, well, the only thing that trickles down is
urine on your
face. On my. I was gonna say leg, but thanks. The
top 1%, 1%, like pissing on specifically your face.
On my face. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, that's again one more thing that only happens in porn, right?
I don't think I think people actually like that.
Piss drinkers?
Yeah, the comedian Jim Norton of the Opie and Jimmy show.
Yes, he likes the piss.
Does
he like to piss on people? Or
no, he likes it on him.
Oh, okay.
And he not from a fella, from a lady. From a lady that might look like a fella. Or wait, other way around.
From a fella that might look like a lady. Yeah, okay, yeah.
He's been very accepting of the transgenders.
I swear I've seen that once in a photo in an otherwise normal nudie mag. I think it was Penthouse. I had a copy
there
of
was
Penthouse.
Some piss going on,
and I think there was a like a piss pictorial.
Like women pissing on men, or
just women pissing, not on anybody. Just solo photos of women going to the bathroom and looking aroused about it. It was very strange.
Yeah, well, it's typically when I'm taking a leak, like I'm like, oh my. Well, actually, when I'm aroused and I'm trying not to take a leak, it's annoying.
It is annoying. Now, does it go like all sorts of different directions?
No, it just goes the one direction, not in the toilet. Like the wall or the back of the toilet. So I'm just like, sometimes I'll turn the water on in the tub and I'll just piss in the fucking tub.
Have you ever purposely sat down to try and make it like? I mean, that doesn't make it any easier, especially if you
I'm gonna back up a little bit and try to see how that would work. No.
I mean,
I don't know if that would be in any way helpful.
Not to get too personal, but I think
if I'm like rock hard, that's not gonna work.
Well, maybe
I'll be lifting the seat up and just pissing in between that gap in between.
There
the seat
is that,
and the
but there is that, and I have done that by accident. And maybe it's saying something about the size of my equipment, but I think I may have tried to do what I just described, to sit down, and I think maybe.
And if I had to shit too, I might just shit on the back of the toilet instead of, because I'd be like, wait, because I'm just be bending over.
Yeah. I mean, but I think maybe the point was to if the head of the penis touches the cold porcelain, that might aid in the sort of like the deflation process. To get back to
deflate gate.
To get back to what we were, to the verb we started off with.
Yeah, so the trick is don't drink too much water before you go to bed, so you don't have to piss too much.
Yeah, unless of course you're with somebody who likes to be peed on, in which case
I don't get that one.
I don't, and that's one I'm sure many comedians have made the same damn joke over many times, so I have no idea who I heard it from. But the idea that if you think of some perversion, there's a magazine out there. Now, of course, you could replace magazine with website, but there's some website out there dedicated specifically to that thing that you think is completely disgusting.
Yeah, I'm sure that there's plenty of those things that exist, and
are there people who like to be shit on or like to have?
Jim Norton is another one of those.
Oh my
he
God.
Likes
the pissing I can almost get. Almost.
But he doesn't like. This is just going to be really gross. Don't listen to this one during breakfast, folks, or whatever meal you're having.
Right.
So basically, he doesn't like like if it's going to be sloppy. He doesn't want that.
Oh, God.
But
he solid turd.
Turd. He wants a solid turd, and allegedly on his chest.
On his chest. All right, there, Norton.
So yeah, I think he's at Jim Norton on
Way
Twitter.
to go, Jimmy.
Talk to him about his proclivities and. One of my favorite photoshops that I've ever seen involved someone pissing on a face, but it was 2003.
It wasn't that little boy that's pissing on the Yankees logo on the back of people's cars, right?
You mean Calvin?
Yes.
Like from Calvin and Hobbes.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been that and the Chevy or Ford, whichever one you like more, or pissing on I'm sure Bill Watterson was probably
probably not thrilled.
He was not happy about that. Yeah. Calvin pissing on whatever picture.
I mean, is there a photo of Cal? I mean, is it taken from a Watterson drawing? Or
I don't think so. Okay. I think it's just a
caricature.
Yeah.
Or not
a caricature of
not
a cartoon.
A thing.
So yeah, it was during the 2003 MLB playoffs, and where we lost to the Yankees, and then it was the Yankees.
Never happened.
It did happen, but we got our comeuppance, or not comeuppance. We got our revenge the next year, beat them, and then won the World Series.
That is true.
That's exactly how I wanted that situation to play out. But back in 2003, it was a bummer. But someone did a Photoshop, and it was the Yankees celebrating beating the Red Sox.
Oh, and
you know, when they have like the champagne going everywhere.
It was.
And someone Photoshopped one of the champagne bottles. They just put a penis there, and it was just basically spraying piss onto Derek Jeter's
not any
face.
Particular penis. Like, it wasn't Kevin Millar's penis.
It wasn't Kevin. I don't know. I have never seen Kevin Millar's penis.
Okay.
So I can't compare it to the penis that was in the Photoshop. But yeah.
I think they did a Kickstarter once for something, and seeing Kevin Millar's penis was was one of the rewards. But I didn't want to pay that much.
What was it for?
I don't know. It's maybe to touch one of the trophies. Or touch Millar's trophy. I don't know.
What is wrong with you?
A lot. I'm tired.
You're tired. I had to drive an hour here.
You had to drive. Well, I mean, you had to drive an hour here. No, that's not unheard of. It's the hour of the day that you drove an hour.
Yes. So this, like, full disclosure, I'm not drunk. I'm just really tired because we started recording this one. This is the earliest I think we've ever recorded.
I'm pretty sure.
It's 9 a.m. on a Saturday.
Yeah.
And I'm just a little bit bleh.
Well, it's Memorial Day weekend, and you get an active social calendar.
Yes,
and
as do you.
I have one thing on Monday.
Okay, I was trying to make it seem like you...
seem like I'm cool.
Yeah, so why don't you just take it?
I don't...
Or else someone will do a Photoshop of Kevin Millar.
Me taking it.
From Kevin Millar.
Kevin Millar. I'm glad I started with Millar because that visual is wonderful.
Cowboy up.
Oh, that guy. Oh, could be taking it from Schilling in his bloody sock. And you know, for protection, he wrapped his sock around his schlong, and then I got some weird. Can you get ALS from
Schilling doesn't have ALS.
I don't know. You know,
he just has a foundation
from his bloody sock. I have a fucking cap that I need to get away from me.
I took it away.
All right. Yeah. Do you have it? Like, Memorial Day is so fucking weird. Like the weekend, because
it's usually barbecues. When I lived down south, I got reprimanded several times for calling what we do up here, up north, as a barbecue.
Oh,
so basically,
what are you supposed to call it?
A cookout.
Okay, well, that's what I used to call it,
but like, if you're down south and you call like grilling burgers and dogs on a grill, if you call that a barbecue,
you're in trouble.
Well, not in trouble, but they'll be like, that's not barbecue. You're dumb.
They don't send a clan after you.
I lived in a
if you're a black guy, maybe.
I lived in a pretty progressive area.
Okay, yeah.
It was a decent, or at least the people I knew were pretty liberal. So I don't think they would have.
They just get mad about their barbecue.
Yeah, they'd be like, "No, it's not barbecue. It's cookout. You just gross."
I mean, yeah, cookouts were the thing. I think starting with when my grandfather passed away back in '94, maybe before that, but definitely then was when my mom and my aunts tended to go out and like visit all the graves and stuff, which is also like, okay, so that's become a thing. But then when you really get back to it, like Memorial Day, just like Veterans Day, is about military. Well, not Veterans Day is about military living and dead, but right.
I think maybe.
But Memorial Day is supposed to be about the military dead, right? Not necessarily just all the dead.
Yeah.
And yet, for my family, it's become, if it's not just a cookout, it's become about visiting graves. And it's a weird weekend because, like, you know, it's the
unofficial beginning of summer.
Unofficial beginning of summer. There's usually some popcorn flick that's come out.
It's not Jurassic World. That's in 2 weeks.
Yeah, or coming out this week, coming up after Memorial Day is I think San Andreas, the
one with
The Rock,
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Yeah, with
who is the woman in that movie? That was
oh God, I know who you're talking about.
She's got some nice boobs.
I would concur.
I don't know if they're real or not.
She's been in. Is it Carla Gugini?
I don't know.
She's been in. A number of things. You talking about his what looks like might be his wife, or are you talking about his
I don't know. I hope it's not his daughter.
Well,
I think it's his wife because she's a little bit older.
Because the weird thing, and I don't know when this became a... I mean, I think it was when I first noticed it was with this latest Transformers that came out. Yeah, Carla Gugino.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's an attractive older woman.
She's been in a few things that I've liked. She was in Watchmen. She was in Sin City. She was in a bunch of those Robert Rodriguez flicks.
She was in Spy Kids.
She was in Spy Kids. Yeah.
Holy shit!
She was in Spy Kids.
Okay, put that away.
What's that?
I said put that away.
Put that away. Starting with the latest Transformers, where it wasn't like. They went a little bit older for their male protagonist by casting Marky Mark, right?
I like how we always call him Marky Mark.
As opposed to...
He just wants to get away from being known as Marky Mark.
Marky Mark. So Marky Mark is your protagonist. Whereas it used to be, what's his ass, that was in the first three of them?
Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf, right? So they go a little bit older. And all of a sudden, it's not about Marky Mark having a girlfriend. It's about Marky Mark's daughter having...
Your Boston accent is terrible.
You want to keep saying Marky Mark. That's what you drink this week every time this terrible Boston accent comes out. So now, all of a sudden, it's not about the lead male character having a hot girlfriend. It's about him having a hot daughter, which is weird. Like, that starts to be really fucking odd.
That was... Like, okay, I'm going to go back to something from a couple of weeks ago when I watched Face Off.
Okay.
Does
he have like a 18-year-old daughter in that one?
Okay, so Travolta is the Special Forces agent or whatever in the movie. He has a maybe 16, 17-year-old daughter.
Okay.
And there's like this sort of... Like when the switch happens and it's Nick Cage's villain character as Travolta, and he's just like there and like his daughter is in like these white cotton panties and she's like smoking cigarettes or whatever, and it's like a Lolita situation, but with your quote unquote daughter, and he's just like being a creepo, like looking at her.
Yeah. Okay,
really...
so it's not a new phenomenon. I mean, we're talking. This goes back. I'm sure there's been fucking Bruce Willis movies with the same damn deal for years at this point. It's a weird choice to go as you call it, the Lolita angle in a sort of popcorn movie. Like, why? I mean, this ties into something that.
But it's just that one scene.
Well, it's an ageism thing. Not to throw a fucking ism in here.
I'll throw jism in here.
But I don't know if you saw this week. I think it was Maggie Gyllenhaal. And I'll have to find the article or the quote about this. But Maggie Gyllenhaal got turned down. You know who Maggie Gyllenhaal is?
Yes, I know who Maggie Gyllenhaal is.
So I think she's 30. I think she's 37 or maybe 38, maybe 39. She's in that range, right? She got turned down for a role to play the love interest of a 55-year-old man because she was too old.
Yeah.
That's just like... So a friend of mine, Jackie Benson, she's or acquaintance of mine, I don't know her that well. She's a playwright, and she started this tag of like, talking about the women that you find to be attractive over that certain age. And you're like some of the women that are like 37, 38, 30, like why can't they play love? Like Kate Winslet, she's fucking like 38. She's a year older than me.
38.
Oh no, she's 39. She's 39. She's 2 years older. It's fucking weird to think like Kate Winslet's an attractive woman. Why can't she play the romantic lead in a film? Or the last thing I saw her in was fucking Divergent, which is like a piece of shit ripoff of. No, I'm sorry, we talked about this. Apparently, it's not. But that's the last thing I saw her in, and she's playing this matronly role already. She's fucking 39. She's 39. We gotta have all these action movies now.
There are women that, like, if they had children in their early 20s, would have like a child that is graduating high school.
Absolutely.
In their late 30s.
No, and I get that, like The Rock could have an 18, 19-year-old child. John Travolta could certainly have a 16 to 17-year-old child in that movie that we're talking about. Marky Mark
could have a teddy bear that he's best friends with.
Yes, and an 18-year-old daughter for everyone to sort of drool over during the movie when they're not looking at stupid fucking robots raping my childhood. Sorry. They did not rape my childhood.
How did you
I should not misuse that word.
Yes.
But they destroyed
trigger
my childhood.
warnings, Chris.
Trigger warnings.
Just put that on the thing. Chris does say rape.
I do say
during the episode.
I do say the word rape. You
said
watch
it
Game
too.
of Thrones?
Yes.
What did you?
But we can't. No. This is jump.
It was controversy this week, is what I'm.
I don't know. I don't pay attention.
By the time this airs, the episode that I'm referring to will be a
week away. But yeah, no.
Okay. And if you know what I'm talking
I
about.
try not to me giving spoilers of a movie that came out in 1989 or 90 or whatever. That's fine.
Yeah.
But like something that happened last week, I'm gonna.
Fair enough.
Just like we were very vague with our conversation, except that one thing about Avengers.
About Avengers, yeah. So yeah, I mean, Transformers, all the anyway. Enough said. I don't think we need to, because the sad truth of the matter is, if those women who are playing the teenage daughters keep making movies, eventually they're going to get replaced by other. I don't know. We're all going to get replaced
by robots.
By
sexy robots.
By sexy robots and much more attractive people.
Right.
I've already been replaced by much more attractive people.
Well, there was a news story actually out recently, and that said that women are attracted, or more women are attracted to somebody with a quote unquote dad bod.
I did see the dad bod thing. I think that is
and I'm like, wow, I'm like,
of all the fucking things that like these goddamn desperate newspapers and publications come up with to drive traffic to their fucking goddamn spoiled websites. Dad bod. One fucking picture from Mad Men, and now all of a sudden, because that's the picture that I saw of them.
Well, if we all look like John Hamm,
John Hamm does not have dad bod. John Hamm might have said, "All right, John, we don't want you to do any sit-ups this week."
Yeah,
and that's fucking dad. No, that is not.
That's not dad bod. Dad bod is like, I go to the gym occasionally, but I also drink heavily and eat pizza a lot.
Yeah. I mean, dad bod is the fact that I am driving around so goddamn much that I actually know the differences. I can taste the differences between the three different major fucking fast food joints. That I have opinions. I have opinions about the fucking fries at Burger King.
I don't like the fries at Burger King.
I liked the fries at Burger King, and sometime in the last couple of weeks, while I've been driving around a lot, the fucking fries at Burger King became absolute shit. Well, I don't know when it happened, but it happened.
There was a certain point back in, I think the early aughts where they changed the fries at Burger King. Yes. I don't know why the fuck we're talking about this.
I don't know.
But that's fine. We just got horribly off nerp. And then, I don't know. I remember they had Mr. Potato Head as their ad campaign.
Oh, really? I don't remember.
And then he was just he was sneaking around the box on the fries, and then he was like, "Psst, try the fries." And I'm like, I don't like these new ones.
Wendy's is the one that has changed it a whole at least 2 or 3 times in the last 5 or 10 years. My mom actually went. I don't know how I had this conversation with my mom, but she used to like Wendy's above the other ones. In fact,
as far as the fries go,
well, just in general. She would drive out of her way. We did a couple times. She and I, whether it was in college or whatever, we would drive out of her way to get Wendy's. So she travels for business, and she wanted just a quick meal. So she went across the road from where her hotel was, went to the Wendy's, and just it was gross. She hadn't had fast food in ages. That's part of it. If you haven't had fast food in ages, it takes a while for your body to get used to it. But I think also I had Wendy's fries last night, and they're fucking gross too. And it's sad because McDonald's fries I've also always thought were like fucking potato sticks, but at least they're the least of all.
I think I mean, as far as things from McDonald's, I think their fries are the best.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, like I think they don't use vegetable oil or something when they cook them, so they're not like if you're a vegan or a vegetarian or whatever.
Yeah.
They're not good for you.
Right. Yeah.
Well, they're obviously not good for you.
Now, have you been to any of the sort of like next level up burger joints? Because that's apparently what's causing McDonald's to have all the troubles they have. Like a Five Guys or out west. There's different things. I don't know.
I don't live out west.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you ever visited out west.
I did visit out west, but it was north out west.
Okay. And then of course there's probably different stuff down south as well.
Well, there was a place that I always used to go to, and this brings back the Cookout.
Yeah.
It was called Cookout.
Ah, all right.
And all they had, it was like the one in Cary, which was the town I lived in, was a double drive-through. Okay. It was a drive-through on either side of the building, and I made the mistake of going to the one that was on the left side of the building once, and I was like, crap, I don't have a passenger in my car with me. And my old car had the roll down the windows manually. Right. It didn't have and still, like, I'm like reaching over, my money. I need my food. I'm chubby.
That's funny.
But yeah, but it was just that they did burgers, chicken sandwiches, fries, and milkshakes, and that was basically it.
I mean, and that's basically what all of these places. Shake Shack has moved. What started in New York, it's moved into Boston. There's a Good Burger in Boston, I think.
Welcome to Good Burger.
That's a Tasty Burger, maybe. I don't know. I get mixed up which ones are from fucking movies and which ones are actually real things. But hold on. Like the Five Guys. I guess was the point I was trying to get to. And
Five Guys is good. Yeah.
Their fries are in peanut oil, so they taste amazing. But if you have a peanut allergy,
if you walk into that place, you're gonna have like
I think it says it on. They
don't walk into this place. There's like peanuts like right as you walk in the door.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like you can sit there and eat peanuts while you're waiting to eat food.
Yeah, not eat peanuts.
Peanuts. Stop it. So okay, speaking of
not that there's anything wrong with eating peanuts.
Like as far as peanuts. I do enjoy Wendy's, I think, over all the other regular, plain old fast food joints, like classic. Let's just call them fast food classic.
Yeah.
Rebranded as fast food classic. I think Wendy's is like, I will get the spicy chicken sandwich at Wendy's, and they have like a new one that just came out that I wanted to try. And I don't eat fast food a lot nowadays, but occasionally I'll have a wicked craving. And like last week I was just like, I need some just fast food garbage, please. Right. And so they have a new one that's like spicy. It was like ghost pepper or whatever.
Oh, I saw
that. Spicier spicy chicken. And I'm like, let's do it.
Yeah.
I go there and I get it and I eat it and I'm like, this is not as spicy as I was expecting.
Yeah.
And this goes back to my never-ending quest
for spicy.
For more spicy. Okay, yeah. I retweeted something. You can what the hell?
You retweeted something.
Yeah, it was this guy, like, there was a picture of a bunch of hot sauces and like the labels say stuff like Ron's Knucking Foots hot sauce. No shit, this is hot. Hot as shit hot sauce. The hottest fucking sauce. One fucking drop at a time hot sauce.
Yeah. Isn't there one on there about the devil's something?
This one says brand new asshole. Neil's hairy ass hot sauce. And the guy who retweeted or tweeted it originally was C Joyner at C Joyner, and he said, "Jesus Christ, calm down, hot sauce."
There was a guy, a professor of mine in college, Peter, who was the technical theater director. So he did all the behind the scenes stuff, and he loved his hot sauces, or at least somebody in his household loved their hot sauces. So he had a basket. Is that in a basket, or that's just a row?
I think that's just
like a row on a
like
shelf.
If you got like a lot of like liquor stores, like will also have like a special hot sauce. There's one in Westboro. I forget what the hell it is, or is it Northborough? One of the boroughs near Marlboro.
Queens.
No.
The Bronx.
Near Marlboro.
Staten Island.
Stop it. And they have like an expansive hot sauce section as well as, an expansive liquor section. And they have all these,
Do you need to get liquored up to like hot sauce?
No.
Because I don't like things that are hot. I don't.
Are you one of those, what people back in the day would have called a pussy?
I am.
Not now, though.
No,
I'm not
now.
calling you a pussy now.
No, but back in the day, you might.
Back in the day, I might call you that constantly.
Yes, you might call me that word. Back in the day, I might have been known as a pussy.
All right. Well, I had a conversation with this about somebody, and I am not exceptionally manly. The things that I do, I mean, I do nerdy things, but those aren't necessarily manly things.
Sure.
But one of the things that is my claim to manly fame is the fact that I eat incredibly spicy things, and that's where I can just look at all this hair on my chest.
If hard pressed, I don't know that I could come up with a thing about me that is manly.
Oh, come on, you're a theater actor.
Yes, that is a particular. I mean, I'm talking about back in the day, manly as opposed to manly of today. Where the various today, yes, today there are various aspects of manhood that are embraced and that are. I mean, I'm surprised. That joke isn't coming. So I'm done. There are various.
I didn't realize that you were. I thought you were actually pontificating.
In my head that was trying to come out and it was not funny, so I stopped it.
Cool.
You're welcome.
Think of your own shitty joke. That's Chris's new bit. It's like I'm going to think of. Oh no, never mind.
Never mind. You think.
Audience, think of what shitty joke I was going to
make. There are different aspects of manhood that can be embraced now, but back in the day. I would say I was not a very man. Well, if by the definitions of back in the day, I am not. Am not, will never be a man.
Oh,
I just won't.
Did it invert?
Did it invert? It has never gotten that small, but it's probably gotten close.
Oh, poor baby.
The poor baby, my wife. She's the one that's.
Oh, take my wife, please.
She's the one that has to deal with it. Yeah, so we were talking about manliness. We were talking about hot sauce. Hot sauce. It's never been a thing. I've gradually gotten a little bit. Certainly, I got my taste buds from my mom. We both like things pretty plain. I've gotten more adventurous over the years, but there's a certain level of spiciness where I
want I crave it, and then I immediately, well, not immediately, but sometimes the next morning regret it. A number of podcasts ago, I talked about doing the B-dubs.
Yeah, and
I was eating the spiciest ones, and then had the revenge of the spiciest ones.
Yes,
and I think what I said was. It was like magma shooting out of my asshole, and then
I believe that's how you described it.
And then I said, it was really hard to flush because after it hit the water, it cooled.
It was forming a new Hawaiian island.
Yes.
There in your toilet bowl.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there, you said something that made me want to comment, and I don't remember what it was.
That you're a theater actor.
No, it was after that. It was something in what you just said. But we could talk about the fact that I'm a theater actor.
That was the segue.
That was the segue. I just had to go on about how I was not a man.
I'm doing some pretty good segues.
You were doing some good segues. The thing to the hot sauce, that was a stroke of brilliance.
Yes.
Giving you a peek behind.
It's like I'm like, oh, we're talking about a thing that leads into the thing that we haven't on the list.
We do, yeah.
And now we're fourth wall broken.
Fourth wall broken. Fuck transitions.
Yes.
I'm acting. I mean, we talk about me acting. What's different about me acting this week is that you saw me act.
Yes.
You saw me act last night, which is part of why it's like...
You were very manly in this piece right there, dude.
That's the thing. I think that is honestly why I got so much positive feedback. It's like, wow, Chris is
a man.
Chris is a man. I did not know Chris was a man. I thought he was maybe a fat lesbian with a penis. What would that mean? I'm sorry, I don't know.
I thought Chris was Chaz Bono.
Yes, I thought Chris was Chaz Bono. I mean, I don't know.
I keep on singing Chaz Bono on the show, and you at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, but in all seriousness, and to get less offensive here, I do think that part of what makes that character.
I think I might have to sneeze. That was dainty.
that was dainty.
The character.
Yeah, the character.
No, don't take out the sneeze. Leave it in.
So the character. I mean, I've gotten a lot of positive feedback, and I think part of it, and I would feel bad about myself if not for the second thing I'll say. I think part of it from the people who know me is to see that sort of assertive, manly, almost. I think of the character like almost kind of an asshole. I'd love to hear what you think in a second. I think seeing me like that for people who know me is like, wow, he really can sort of go to a different place. The reason that I feel like not simply, I feel better about myself and better about the role is that I've had people come up to me who don't know me and compliment me on the role. So,
you don't know me.
You don't know me. So you picked up your drink to have a sip, so I won't ask you. I will stall time by blah 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 blah, blah by doing that.
That was really great what you just did. You should edit that part out.
What, you saw the play?
Yes, I did,
and I was manly.
Yes, you were manly. I enjoyed it. There was, I mean, it was a very small cast. It was only the three of you, but I think everybody did a great job. It wasn't light material. It was very heavy and I didn't think you were an asshole per se, but you had interests that were there, and then right. All this crazy shit is happening, and you're like, you are processing it as it's happening, so it's understandable that you're not necessarily going to react in a perfect way. Right.
Yeah. I mean, I think where I come at it from thinking that he's an asshole. So this is the play is Death and the Maiden. If you're just joining us,
it unfortunately, when this airs, will have already finished its run, right. So you can't go see it. I
mean, you can go watch the there's a film version out there. But anyway, so the play is Death and the Maiden. I was playing Gerard. It's weird to talk about in the past tense because right now, as we record, I have 2 more shows. Yes. But as you're listening to this, it's over.
It's over.
It's over. I play Gerardo, and Gerardo is a guy who's going to be on the president's commission to do something, to look up, to try and investigate war crimes in this South American country that was run by a dictatorship for a while. And so where I come at it from the asshole point of view has to do with backstory. So his wife was kidnapped, right? And tortured and raped, and he.
So, like I said, it's not light stuff.
No. So he is in. There's this scene between the two of them in the second act, where second act of our performance. If you were to read the play, apologies, there are like 5 acts. So let me just say after intermission. So after intermission, there's this scene between the two of them where it comes out something that's been alluded to earlier, that he was sleeping around while she was in captivity. Possibly he was sleeping around while she was in captivity thinking she was dead and he was moving on. But he has this line where she finally gets him to come out and say that he slept with this other woman. And he says, "My God, I'm also human." And it's a line that every time I have to say it, I sort of out of the corner of my eye try to catch the reactions, especially of the women in the audience. And there's
I don't want to I didn't want to take you too much out of the performance, but I did give you a double thumbs up when you said that.
Oh, that's what that was. I saw some thumbs.
I was like, yeah, and I screamed out, "Way to go, buddy!" Yeah, I totally ruined the performance. I did not do that.
It made the performance.
I may be an ass sometimes, but I did not do that.
But yeah, he says that line, and I'm just like, oh, you fucking asshole! But I think that's part of what makes it an interesting role is to kind of get you for all 3 of them. Like I think for all 3 of them, you're sympathizing with them one moment and thinking they're being a complete turd the next. Except for maybe her. Like if you understand Paulina, I hope you don't ever think she's being ridiculous. I mean, she's being extreme in what she does. She kidnaps the doctor. The
Spoilers,
jeez. Yeah, whatever.
I tried to keep it vague.
You tried to keep it vague. Because I don't believe in spoilers. We've been through this.
Yes, but people can't go to see.
People can't go. I mean, they could go read the play or see in the film version. It's Sigourney Weaver, Ben Kingsley, and is it Stewart? No, It's a Wilson. It's a Wilson
Phillips.
No.
Owen Wilson.
No,
Luke Wilson.
No, I was going to say Stuart Wilson, but that's not one of the Wilson brothers that's acting today, right?
It's Luke and Owen Wilson.
Okay, so it might be Stuart Wilson is the guy that.
Who's Stuart Wilson?
I don't know. That I'm saying
he played your character.
He played the character that I played.
And Ben Kingsley was the doctor.
Kingsley was the doctor, and obviously Sigourney.
Now I kind of want to check that out.
I didn't watch it before the show. I almost did, but then I realized we were changing some things, and I didn't want my performance to be affected by the Wilson whose name I can't remember,
or Ben Kingsley,
Yeah, I didn't want to, I didn't want to be impacted.
See, I had this idea while watching the play. It was actually during intermission when we were having conversations.
Yeah.
I just had this idea of this play I want you to write.
Oh, okay. So moving from the acting back to the writing, because I've been thinking about that myself. What's the next thing I'm gonna write play wise?
So you've seen The Fisher King, right?
I haven't.
All right, so
I know vaguely of what
The Fisher King starts as Jeff Bridges' character is a radio host, and then some one of his fans does something terrible and just basically ruins his career.
Yeah.
So basically, I wanted something along those lines, but not quite as extreme.
Yeah.
Because we were talking, and then there was that incident a number of years ago when the Wii first came out, and those folks that were doing a radio promotion, they were just a morning zoo show.
Yeah.
They were you hold your Wii for a Wii, so they had people drinking a shitload of water and holding in their piss, but one of the people that was in the contest died.
Oh God!
Because they drank too much water, and I'm not a doctor, and I never have claimed to be, even though you have called me several times.
You have never claimed to be a doctor, Dr. Steve.
Dr. Uncle Steve.
Dr. Uncle Steve. Uncle Dr. Steve? No, Dr. Uncle. Okay. Yeah.
So if you drink too much water, your body is a considerable amount of water.
Yeah.
But so you need it to survive. But if you drink too much of it, your brain basically turns into goop, and you die.
It's called drowning, right?
Yeah, you drown your brain with too much water, and then you just you can't function because your brain can't do the things it needs to do to make you live.
And so you want the Fisher King.
Well, kind of not as severe as someone dying, but maybe kind of like an Opie and Anthony, with the sex in the church thing, and basically the aftermath, of these characters that the media has portrayed as villains, because of this terrible situation, and basically saying, hey, you know what, these people are human, and
so you came up with that idea even before I said the words. My God, I'm also human.
Yeah.
Must have seemed prescient and then you come back, you sit in your seat, there's some yelling that happens, there's some yelling in someone's ear that happens, and then in the next scene I say, my God, I'm also human, and you're sitting there, he's already writing, he's already thinking,
we're on the same page, we've been doing this show for so long, you're I have this great idea. Steve probably has the same idea too.
I think I'm going to throw a line into the play to show Steve, who's out in the audience, that I'm thinking the same thing he's thinking.
Really?
Yes.
No. But that was the kind of idea, just.
So the question is, do you ever find out in the play? We're talking about the play that Steve wants me to write here. Do you ever find out what the incident was, or do you?
No. I think that's the first scene.
Oh, you think that's the first?
The first scene is basically something I'm. I think setting it in the heyday of shock jockery, where Stern and O&A and whatever, that were just doing the craziest shit. There was a thing that happened maybe a couple of weeks, maybe a month before the sex in the church thing. Yeah. They were up in Buffalo, and it was the summertime, and they had this beach blast or whatever, and they were broadcasting from some bar, and then there was just obscene things happening on the beach. There was just women there. There were oh, there's sex toys here, and
Oh,
we're gonna have these women on the beach, like
with the sex toys.
But the thing is, this thing up in Buffalo, this was this was after the show that like they broadcast from the bar, and then everybody just went outside to the beach. And then just started putting things in their vaginas, and it wasn't broadcast, so it wasn't an FCC issue.
Yeah.
So they're like, what?
Yeah,
but yeah, that was already like there, and they could possibly have like gotten fired for that, even though it was not ever
wasn't on in the air. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
But then then that, so like something like not sex in a church and not something like that, but right.
But you need an incident. Yeah,
there needs to be an incident that makes them like villains,
right?
Makes them not so well. They the characters like that would never be a media darling in the first place.
No.
But like something that just like completely ruins any sort of like goodwill that they have with even their own fan base or something like that.
Possibly, yeah. No,
and then basically their struggles afterwards to adjust to life without their jobs, sort of like a Fisher King situation.
I like it.
But without a homeless guy playing a knight, Robin Williams.
You mean we can't resurrect Robin Williams and bring him back just for this play?
Yeah. So it needs to be different enough from the Fisher King. So you probably have to watch the Fisher King.
I might have to watch the Fisher King just to make sure I don't copy it.
Yeah.
So
that's my idea.
That's a big commitment, me having to watch a movie.
Yeah. Well, it's a good movie.
I still have 7 papers to grade.
Oh, okay. Well, you have the whole summer.
No, I only have till Wednesday to grade the papers.
No, I mean to watch a movie.
Yeah, no, I like that idea. I've been thinking about it, before doing this play. I mean, obviously...
And you definitely need to have me as somebody
as somebody in there.
Even if it's just being, like, the stunt boy for the radio show, like, at the beginning. Or, like, Or you could write something with me in mind.
I could.
And then be like, be very loose with the dialogue because I will forget it.
Well, yes, and that's the biggest. I really want to. As much as I've said on this show, in the past, that I kind of thought I was maybe done with theater. There's part of me that keeps drawing me back, and then of course I get great reviews, and I think, oh well, I do have fun doing this. As much as I hate driving all over the damn place and eating this much fucking fast food.
Fucking fast food.
Dadbod. Yeah. No. So that's a good play idea. I've got another one I've wanted to work on for a while. So it'll be interesting. It might be what I spend some time on this summer. Well, we've got other things. We've got this thing, which
I think we should bring it up. Like, there's not going to be a way to segue it.
Okay.
Friend of the show, Leo, has been on with us. He sat here.
In that chair.
In that chair, that very chair,
yeah.
And he talked about his trip to Nepal.
Yes.
So Leo has a track record recently of going to places, and then after he leaves, terrible things happen.
Explain.
So he went to India's Hat,
yes.
Nepal, and then 2 massive earthquakes happened.
Oh, okay. All right. There's a pattern happening here.
And I think there's a bunch of charities out there. Probably the Red Cross would be the best one to go to because there's a lot of charities out there that are BS.
Yes.
And so...
and the Red Cross is not one of them, right?
Yeah, I don't think the Red Cross is one of them. I've definitely donated blood to them before.
Yeah, okay. Yes, and you should.
I'm still kind of shingly. There was a blood drive nearby, like in Carlisle, on the way home from work, and I was like, I'm still shingly. I don't know if they'll let me donate because I have this stupid. Well, I'll always have the stupid virus. In
right.
Me,
Right. Yeah.
But I don't know if they'll let me if I still have like itchy
parts. Yeah. I really should, not to take us horribly off, but I
like how it's become horribly off.
I am either O positive or O negative.
If I hope you're O negative because then I can get blood from you.
Yeah,
because I am O negative.
Yeah.
Fans of the show, if you ever need blood, send us an email and I'll come down and donate at the hospital.
Right. Which, if you're not familiar with blood types, means if I am O negative, just like you're O negative, like we are the ones who should be donating because everyone can take our blood.
Well, O positive is still pretty good.
Yeah.
Like the only one that can't get O positive is O negative.
Yeah. and I feel like Stephanie is one and I am the other.
She's like AB or whatever.
No. She's either O positive or one of us is O positive, one of us is O negative.
Okay, well, so one of you can benefit the other,
yes.
and not vice versa.
Not vice versa.
So yeah, I mean,
so he went to Nepal's hat, and
India's
what
hat.
What is Nepal's hat? Now that I think about it,
China.
It's a big hat. That's a very small person with a very big hat.
Yeah.
Okay. He went to India's hat. He went to Nepal. Couple earthquakes. Now, what was the next part of this?
He also recently went to Baltimore.
Oh.
And the city exploded with race riots.
What is Leo doing?
He's just going to places and fucking shit up. He went and he was like, oh, I'm here at the right near the Himalayas here.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna start banging on the ground with like a hammer, and that apparently caused an earthquake.
Is there someplace we could or should send him now, knowing that this is a pattern?
Yeah. No, I don't want to send. Like, he's here now, so
I know, but what I'm saying is, it's like there's this. I mean, maybe the government needs to take advantage of Leo here. Like, maybe
he wants to start. Like, he should be.
You know, he's not like Iron Man or Captain America or any of those. But I mean, like, there's something.
His
going
special
on
power is to cause strife.
So we want to fuck somebody up. We send in Leo.
Yeah, just to visit, and people won't even know. He's like, oh, this is this guy. He's got crazy beard. That's cool.
Yeah, and then
have some of this local food, and then leave. And then he's like, and then all of a sudden, the next week, he's just like, the place explodes.
I mean, he's got like the chaos magic that like was too complicated for them to put into Avengers: Age of Ultron for Scarlet Witch. I mean, that's a real power. There's like, we're saving that for Leo. Like, he's going to be in Avengers 16. He's the one that will do that.
He was apparently just like going to like all these people in Baltimore and saying, "Hey, what do you think about race?"
And they all were like, "We want to riot about it."
Yeah, that's basically what happened.
So
Leo, fuck you.
But speaking of listeners,
are we got to that part of the show?
The only thing we have not talked about, I suppose we'd make a passing mention of the final Dave Letterman. Thing we didn't talk about.
I didn't get to see the show, but I've heard things like on Conan, Patton Oswalt was his guest, and then
they say when
it was time to for the last Letterman show, it said on the bottom of the screen, "Go watch Dave."
Yeah. Well,
and then they while that was happening, I think they destroyed Conan's set. Like the three of like Patton, Andy Richter, and Conan were just like breaking shit.
Jimmy, not Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel. Although both of them did tributes the night before. One of their networks decided to run a rerun. I think it was Fallon. I think I think it was Kimmel. I think ABC ran a rerun, and Kimmel was like, go watch Dave tomorrow night. But he's a much beloved dude. I watched all of it after struggling to try and be able to watch it on my computer and not on my TV.
Yeah, I saw your tweets about it, being angry about like needing to sign up for CBS.com.
I finally found listen, like, I pay for cable.
You
right?
do?
I pay for cable. I didn't want to come downstairs and turn on the TV, which might have woken up my family. So I had headphones. I was at my computer. I was like, I want to watch it on my fucking computer. I go to CBS.com. They want to charge me $10 a month to watch their stuff that I already pay to watch on cable. And they will give me a free trial, but only if I put in a credit card.
And you were like...
And I'm like, no, I'm not putting in a fucking credit card to watch... Like, I appreciate that this moment, that it means something that Dave Letterman is having his last show. I would like to watch it, but I'm not putting in a fucking credit card so that CBS can charge me the moment that I forget to cancel it when the free trial is up.
Oh, I'm playing with the cap now.
You're playing with the cap now.
Cap man.
So yeah, I thought the top 10 was probably the best moment of it. I mean,
yeah, that's the only part that I watched because it was on the YouTube.
I'm not saying, although I am saying that you didn't miss much. I mean, if you're a Letterman fan, it was great, and it was good. It was nostalgic. They had a lot of clips and whatnot, and the Foo Fighters performance at the end was, I mean, they basically could have just run the Foo Fighters song and
well, that there was a special meaning to Dave because when he was he had surgery, or was it a heart attack or something?
Yeah.
That was the song that got him through his recovery, and that's why they had the Foo Fighters play that for him. Yeah. My favorite part of the top 10.
But the thing was, is you didn't even see the Foo Fighters. You just saw the clips. Oh. So it's like you almost could have just run run the song.
Yeah, whatever. They probably wanted to perform live. So
yeah.
But my favorite part of the top 10 was Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
And hers was what was it?
Thank you for letting me participate in yet another terrible series finale.
Yeah, and of course Jerry Seinfeld's
right
had already gone. Yeah, and he was right back there.
And he made a face and a half.
It was great. I liked. That was probably my favorite. I think my second favorite might have been Jim Carrey's line about overacting or whatever it was.
You're a terrible overactor, and then he was just
and then he just did his best impression of himself. Which was pretty funny.
It was really like what I saw was cool, and everybody that was doing the top 10 thing. The top 10 list was things that you wanted to say to Dave, that never did or whatever.
Yeah. Or never would, or something like that, yeah.
All right, so we want to get to Brian's email?
Brian sent us an email after last week. We chided him
for not sending
sending us an email. Do you want to read this, or you want me to read it?
Let me see.
You're going to read it. All right.
You read it.
Okay, because I was going to say, you got to remember not to read the portion at the bottom that says, this is the portion you don't need to read on the show.
All right. Well, I would probably end up reading it. So you read.
Hi, guys. Subject, obligatory email.
You don't have to read it just skim the important parts.
So he had paperwork and Catfish Po' Boys to attend to on Friday, which is what got in the way of him writing to us. So that's what was there. Steve sufficiently employed shame to force me into writing, and I'm waiting for Turtle Time to start, so I don't have anything better to do than to write you.
No, I need to stop you there because I need to explain what Turtle Time is.
I know. Well, I was going to say, you're asking me to read portions of the email, and I could have skipped over that portion.
No. I think it's funny. On the get your mug ready or whatever you're drinking.
Okay.
The One Piece game. There's certain times of the day where on Mondays that you get a turtle, these turtles that show up that help you level up your characters, and this only happens for a half an hour or twice on Monday, and that's it. This most recent week it's happened more than one day, which was pretty good. I got lots of turtles. But yeah, he was waiting for that to play the One Piece game,
so he decided to write to us. The main thing I wanted to write to you about is water country. For most of my life, I lived 20-ish miles from water country, and for much of my childhood, my brother and I would drive by it on a relatively regular basis when we went to Rich's department store in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. On their gate was a duck in an inner tube that looked like it was having tons of fun. This prompted my brother and I to ask if we could go to water country all the time.
With the ad, they say lots of fun.
They do, and they got the duck.
Times.
They got the duck. The duck. I can attest to what Brian is saying. The duck looks like he's having a whale of a time.
No, that was Whalen Park.
To which my mother would respond, it was too expensive. That's what he said. So there I was, tempted, teased, and continually let down, living close to, quote, one of the world's best water parks, unquote, according to the Water Channel. According to
the Water Channel.
According to the Travel
All liquid, all the time, Water Channel.
According to the Travel Channel in the early 2000s. But never getting to go. You must be able to imagine my excitement when a week before I left for college, a friend of mine had 4 free tickets. That's right, I was going to water country.
Luke, tune in to Moist Week on the Water Channel.
The dream was about the dream was about to be fulfilled.
Only without the sharks.
It was really happening. And then I got into the park and realized why my parents never took us. Water country is brawling hot concrete wasteland with some plastic slides. For a low $38, you can get the perks of an overcrowded park with water that is ridiculously chlorinated and spending most of the day with you half naked and wet while standing in line waiting for the privilege of getting your bathing suit forcibly pulled into your ass crack. I went once and I never wanted to go back. Years later, while at our weekly librarian meeting, a colleague of mine said the first line of the Water Country jingle, which prompted 3 other librarians, all from New England, to start singing the song from beginning to end, much to the horror of the other 7 people in the room. None of my other colleagues from New England had been to Water Country, leaving me the lone voice to describe it to the room. On another note, I vote for Chris reading One Piece. Drink! And because it counts even when Brian brings it up, right?
Yeah,
or is it just when you?
No, I think I think just people should just constantly drink while
now.
Especially if they're listening at work.
If I bring it up, I think that has to be a special amount of.
Yeah, you have to drink a whole beer.
Whole beer. If I mention One Piece. On another note, I vote for Chris reading One Piece and Hitchhiker's Guide. I will send him my copy of Hitchhiker's Guide if he sends me his address. I don't want to make Brian send me.
You
his
can
copy.
probably get it on Amazon
for cheaper than it
probably
costs Brian to
mail it up. Yeah,
yeah. Or I can go to the library.
A library.
A library. So we should plug some stuff and get out of here.
Yeah. That you get back to your day.
Back to my day. You can go back to sleep. No, you don't get to go to sleep. Your hot social calendar begins right after this.
Yeah, I'm going for
Papa.
until Papa.
I was gonna say a party.
Oh.
But then I realized you were just being general.
Just like I got that, and I got stuff today. I got 2 parties tomorrow. I'm such a social.
You are the most popular man in the room. So you can find the most popular man in the room at Tuesday IS Loser on Twitter.
And you can find the other person that has Twitter in the room.
Yes, you can find me at ECC1977.
Hooray!
Hooray. You can find the show notes for the episode at clarkwoods.com/hot/43. The number 43.
Yes. And you can buy
the Ape's Choice.
the Chris just went through puberty choice.
The Ape's Choice on Google and Amazon and iTunes.
iTunes, yes. Buy the Ape's Choice.
I don't think you mentioned it last week, but I included it in the show notes anyway.
Good, thank you. I appreciate it. But yeah, by that, it's a lot of work went into it from Dan, and a little bit of work went into it from me. But it's a great little album. Listen to all the songs that we wrote when we were 16.
Yes.
And one that we wrote when we weren't.
When you weren't. And then you can go onto your television and watch the Water Channel.
Yes. Good night, everybody.